Okay, welcome everyone. Just give me a heads up. Let me know that you can hear me, please, and that you can see me as well. See the charts, the screens, you know the deal. Okay, Perry, thank you very much. Hey, Perry, were you a member once before? I'm just curious. Your name seems so familiar. Just curious. Okay, David, how are you? Okay, seeing some people that haven't been here in a while that I am seeing. Long time ago. Yeah, I thought so, Perry. I thought you were a member. Hey, everybody, let's get started. I want to talk about family money trades today, become an appointment-based trading expert. And if anybody has any questions, this is the time I think we had a great challenge. You can go to our website and get our free weekly schedule every week. As you know, we create our weekly schedule whether you trade the news or not. Why is it important to know what's going on during the week? Because if you're in a trade and they're releasing consumer confidence, you don't want to be in the trade, maybe. Maybe you want to be out of the market. Or maybe you want to wait for that news to be released and then you want to be in the market, right? So if you have our weekly schedule, it's free. Just go to our website, www.10minutetrades.com. Sign up for the free video, How to Find Your Own 10-Minute Trades, and we'll automatically start sending you our weekly schedule. But if you get the weekly schedule, you'll also know the time of an event. If you want to join our trade room at some point, we have our trade room schedule on the weekly schedule. And it also lets you know when we're going to stream on YouTube. So if you're interested in watching us on YouTube, we do show you on our weekly schedule when we're streaming. Actually, I'm streaming today, which was unplanned. I thought it would be great to throw this up on YouTube and stream it. It's our last challenge class. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10 Minute Trades. Please don't forget it's possible to lose money trading futures. I'm not a financial advisor. You can lose money, so be careful if you're going to trade. We trade appointment-based trading. We trade on a schedule. I'm going to do a recap of the whole challenge today. In 20 minutes, I'm going to do a recap of everything you need to know about news trading, and I'm going to give you a nice lesson on family money trades. I'm going to show a whole bunch of family money trades, and I'm going to explain why family money trades work. Just remember, we trade using the NinjaTrader platform. We trade futures. When we say we're trading earnings, we are trading futures as we watch the earnings in our Thinkorswim account. So we do watch the stock prices, but we are trading futures on earnings. And we have invented a great methodology for doing this. So, trade earnings with futures. We love it. Some of our family money trades are earnings trades. Home Depot is a family money trade. Amazon, Apple, those are family money trades. We have a system at 10 Minute Trades. We have software, we have strategies, we have a trade room. That's the way we do things. There are four elements that make up our system: the weekly market mover, the daily market mover trade reports, trade room access, and we have three software strategies. As I just showed you, the weekly schedule is the first step, the first element. The second element is when you're a member and you are getting ready to go into the trade room, the day before, many reports get a treatment called the DMM, the Daily Market Mover. It has history of the report, a trade setup of the report, a journal of how that report has done over the past 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 quarters, if it's quarterly. The DMM is a special report that we send to our members the day before the event. And some of those DMMs have trade setups so you can practice the day before. You could figure out what you're going to do in advance. And of course, we have our software. I love our software. When I first got here, all that we supported was a breakout trade and a trap trade. Our software now has many, many other setups. It's a custom strategy add-on to NinjaTrader. It has multiple setups, reversals, continuations, earnings trades, breakout trades, trap trades, reverse breakout trades. Our software can automate your entries, targets, and stops if you want it to. It can also allow you to trade in a discretionary manner. Our software is a super ATM program, Automated Trade Manager. It handles trade management. It has trailing stops. It puts stops on the chart and it puts your targets on the charts. Remember, appointment-based trading is simple. It's time-based. We're creating a schedule. We're trading on a schedule. You can schedule your trades up to a week in advance so you know that week when you're going to trade. If you're a member, you know when you're going to come into the trade room. Maybe you just get the DMMs and you just trade our reports. Lots of people do that also. People do trade without our software. It is trickier, as I explained yesterday, but you still can do it. You don't have to use our software if you don't want to. I think you should. I think our software is great. It's a fantastic way to manage and lower your risk when you trade fast-moving markets. And you don't even have to be a news trader. You could just be a straight-up discretionary trader and use our software. So once again, why appointment-based trades? I love trading, but I don't want to be in the market all day. I don't want to be sitting in front of my charts all day. In fact, the less I'm in the market, the less you're in the market, you're probably going to make more money. The less I trade, the more I make. Most trading, let's be honest, it's boring to sit in front of your computer all day long. I don't want to sit around for hours and hours praying for a good setup. If I have to go to the bathroom, I miss the trade. I love scheduling my trades. Also, we analyze the event. We are not looking at Elliott waves, candlestick patterns, Fibonacci's, Ichimoku, clouds. Not very often. Every now and then we'll do a little bit of technical analysis as we explained in our classes. We've added a lot of different types of trading, so we do a little bit more technical analysis that we did years ago, but we're not doing deep technical analysis that's so confusing that you can't tell what's going on because your charts are lit up like a Christmas tree. That's not the way we do things. Our system, appointment-based trading, is easy. Triggers happen on a regular, predictable schedule, and the markets react. Once you know how to handle the moves, you use our software to compensate for errors. It's so much easier than trying to design a setup for every single trade. Appointment-based trades are quick, 1 to 5 minutes normally, and we love this regular schedule. You can literally be done with all your trading in 2 to 3 hours a week. There's 3 major categories of trades. High impact economic reports. So what's that? A GDP report, a jobs report, an FOMC statement. Category 2, earnings reports, right? Big companies. When Apple releases their earnings, markets are going to move. When Nvidia releases their earnings, markets are going to move. Category 3, something we started doing about a month ago in the trade room. Market opens and closes next week. I've been talking to Langford about changing some of the way we do our opens. He's got some great setups that we're going to probably tweak a little bit, and we're going to add some new setups to our market open next week. So if you're not a member, you're going to miss out. There are hundreds of triggers within those 3 categories that you can pick and choose to fit your schedule. How do you find the trades? We find the trades by using the popular free calendars. You don't have to spend money to find out what to do. And we pride ourselves on finding the best inexpensive, if not free, tools to use. Forex Factory. I showed everybody how to use all the calendars. I'm not going to show everyone how to use them today. This is a quick wrap up. Also, get your questions ready. I want questions today, anything about what we do. ForexFactory.com, click calendar, and it lists events for a full week. We vet these events. Red are impactful, orange are medium, yellow are not so moving. We help you to find these trades. Also, another calendar, investing.com. We did a big lesson on investing.com. We're not going to repeat it today, but suffice it to say that we integrate investing.com into our daily chart trading, and it helps us to trade the news because they release the news earnings exactly as we're trading, and we watch those earnings, and it helps us stay in a trade, maybe exit a trade. Why do these trades move? I'm going to get into that in a minute. Two more calendars. Financialjuice.com. I love financialjuice.com. We use the pro version. The pro version of Financial Juice has a fantastic feature. It's got a feature, the Squawk Box, voice news. Nobody offers voice news for the price that these guys offer it. They also announce earnings. You can listen to the news in your headset, and you can configure your news feed. Nobody else does it quite the way they do it. I love financialjuice.com. The pro version is the way to go. It's not free, but it's fabulous. Highly recommended. Great tool for trading the news. How to pick trades. We taught you in the challenge how to use NinjaTrader Playback. You can back test. You can practice trades. You could go back in time and replay the trades. We also showed you how to use the ruler to find your spikes, to create a spike sheet. That's how you back test your trades. You test previous behavior and pick the trades that move the most and give you the best opportunity for profit. Why do these reports work? For example, why does the quarterly grain report move the market, the corn market, or the soybean market almost every time it's released? Every single news report that you're going to look at follows these rules for movement. Specific information is released at a set time every month, every week, every quarter, okay? Every report is different. We've got weekly, monthly, daily, all sorts of reports. Most commonly, we have monthly, weekly, and quarterlies. A specific information news is released at a set time every month or quarter or week. It affects the instrument you're trading. Corn, soybeans, that news, the difference between the forecasted news and the actual news itself causes volatility in the instrument you're trading, and we take advantage of that volatility. In a minute, when we get into family money trades, I'm going to show you how that volatility creates fantastic opportunities for profit. These moves are based on the trade triggers. Those are the names, those are the events. A trade trigger is just a fancy way to say the news events. The ones that have the highest probability of moving and the highest probability of success, we like to think of those as our family money trades. We got to go a little bit further. The key to doing what we do is to find the best of the best. Sometimes we will trade events that are not family money trades. Maybe they're a little too risky for us to call it a family money trade, but besides just the family money trades, we have quite a few events that are bubbling under being called family money trades. We find the best of the best events. We find the best instruments to trade them. We create the setups, and they are called the family money trades. One very important thing to realize about what we do, our community is phenomenal. One of the best things about 10-minute trades is our community and the way that our members love to share. What did I just say this morning? I'm going to get together and talk to Langford. Langford has actually been a key member for me, and he has helped find earnings trades. He's helped find market open trades. We share. I never would say that I'm the only one that knows anything. I always and we always keep an open mind because if people have something to share, they may have a winning idea. We're going to steal it, package it, sell it for $1 million. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna modify it, test it, vet it, and maybe improve on it. And that's the key. The key is sharing. And when you're in a community that shares, that's a winning community. So what are family money trades? They are the events that over and over and over, more often than losing, they create a profit. And when they lose, the losing trades don't wipe out all the profits. So the key is you've got to have trades that are winning more than they lose and they have good, solid, profitable reports. Here are some of our family money trades. And of course, the family money trades are the most successful trades, most of them by far. They're at least 65% reliable, and many of them are more than that. In other words, if you trade 5, we want to see 80% on some of them. At least 3 out of 4, or very, very big winners that overcome the losers more often than not. The key is sometimes you could have a small trade that might be a family money trade, like something like even an earnings trade like a Honeywell. Let me show you a Honeywell. Now, Honeywell right now does not qualify as a family money trade, but if all of a sudden every quarter or most quarters that we start trading Honeywell, it starts generating a profit for us, it can become a family money trade. Also, over time, an event might get removed from being a family money trade. Maybe it has a bunch of losers, or maybe it becomes too risky. It may bubble under, it may still be a great event to trade, but sometimes an event doesn't trade as well as it used to. And when that happens, we remove it, keep an eye on it, because many of them, once they're a family money trade, they often become family money trades again. Honeywell is a very nice earnings report to trade. We use our range trade setup, which puts a line at the top, where is your long order, a line at the bottom, and then in the middle you have a range. Then what happens is the news comes out, our orders get filled because the price shoots through the range, and then our software puts the orders and the targets on the chart. So if you go shooting through your targets, you get out of the trade with a nice profit. So once again, the family money trades are our most successful trades. They're at least 65% reliable, if not more. You could have a 50-50 trade that makes a profit, but it's much harder if it wins as many as it loses for it to be a family money trade. 50-50, you might as well throw a coin. We want better than that, and we want quite a bit better than that to call a trade a family money trade. Here are some of our current family money trades. The U.S. jobs report. Now, the U.S. jobs report is very interesting. We have 2 setups on it. The gold setup is actually the most profitable setup, but it also can be the riskier setup. But at the current time, trading gold has been very strong on the non-farm payroll, but it's actually the bond portion, ZF or ZN, that is a family money trade because the bonds are the most reliable portion of the jobs report. I still love trading gold because when you have a winner, it could be a huge winner. Here is a gold setup and a bond setup on the jobs report. Now watch here just so you could see. I had gold on the left and we had bonds on the right. It's going to take place in a couple of seconds. Watch as our software is going to put the orders on the chart right before the news is released. Remember what I said before about how we use investing.com? And see how we shrink it down and make it almost as if it's a chart during our trading. Now the news is going to come out. There's an explosion to the upside. Gold blasts through our first target. It blasts through our second target. Does it make it? Let's see if it makes it. Missed it by a tick. One little tick. I expanded the target, started trailing with the stop, expanded the target again, trailed with the stop. It went through the target. If I hadn't, oh, beautiful, beautiful trade. Very, very nice explosion. And bonds had an absolute exploding winning trade. And that was August of 25, the jobs report. NFP, just for fun, a year before that, August of 24. Let's see what it did. I had this video in my file folder. Let me see if I can get it to work. Sometimes a video acts crazy. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, that video is not playing back. Let me grab a different one. NFP screenshot. One of our members, $102 trading micros on bonds. Micros from Kenya. Roz in Kenya, one of our very, very happy members, now has a funded Bullinox account, and hopefully, from what I'm seeing in the trade room, she looks to me like she's getting ready to get close to hopefully making a payout on that account. NFP, here's an interesting non-farm payroll report that after the report, we had a fantastic reversal. So this was after the trade. And one of the things that we do in the market and that we teach in our trade room is taking reverse continuation trades. Here we had a trade which was a combo reversal magnet trade. The jobs report came out. It originally burst to the long side, and then we thought we might get a test of the high of the day. The news, interestingly, the news was a little bit negative. A little bit negative news can push gold to the long side. Watch what happened. We went long gold. We had a stop. We were trading this in our prop account. We're now above our entry. Above our entry, our order is at the high of the day. We were able to trail here, and now we have a very nice profitable trade. We're moving our stop higher and higher as the price goes higher, and it tested, just came right there to test the high, which is something we teach over and over in our trade room. We have a whole system called the magnet system that we went over yesterday, that we talk about testing highs and lows, custom levels if you have your indicators that you want to use. And there was that real explosion through the high, which a magnet often does. We teach that in our trade room, and many members make extra money trading after the news. That was a jobs report before and after the news. It's one of our favorite family money trades. Number 2 is the WASDE report. WASDE is a grain report. Why do we love the WASDE report? Because very often when we trade the WASDE, we get a nice profit. Sometimes it's quiet. We've had a few WASDEs that were quiet. It's a noon report. We trade soybeans because that's what we feel tests the best. This was July. This wasn't 100 years ago. This was a recent WASDE. Let's see what happens. We were watching corn on the right. Corn has not been doing much. Soybeans has been our choice. Explosion to the downside. Remember, once we can get our stop to safety, that means we can expand our targets and make more than we planned. That's the key with the best of the best news trades. You could see that this report, it worked initially as our breakout, right? It worked initially as our breakout. Watch it again. It's going to take a few seconds, but it's going to work. We have a breakout and we have a setup, and the day before the event, we sent our members the setup, and our software puts the orders on the chart automatically. I will answer every single question that's in the chat as soon as we're done, I promise. So here's the trade. It finally triggered. It took 40 seconds. Triggered to the downside, and I took my first target. Then I moved my stop to safety. And then the market really cooperated with us, and it moved down, and it kept going. So I was able to keep moving my stop into more profit. And eventually, what happens in a trade, it will change direction and hit your stop and take you out. But remember, your stop is in profit. And more often than not, if you get the opportunity to trail, your stop is giving you more profit than just the trade originally planned for. That's the ultimate trade, when you get more profit than you planned on. Also, when you get positive slippage, a super fast move that hits your target, but it takes you out past the target profitably with extra ticks. That's called positive slippage. That happens when we trade. You don't have to really just worry about negative slippage. There's multiple types of slippage, good and bad. And the good slippage happens plenty of times as well. Another popular family money trade, ISM Manufacturing. We have a setup for that. United Health earnings. United Health earnings is definitely in the top 3 of all of our earnings trades. Now, I traded it so poorly last couple of weeks ago. I wanted to just jump off a bridge. But let me show you the move it made, because all the members in our trade room made money. This trade is 6 o'clock in the morning. So I had woken up early. I was half asleep. No excuse. I screwed up and I didn't put my charts on live. But that's not what matters. Look at the move this report made. And this is why we love trading United Health earnings. And this is why United Health earnings is a family money trade. I don't think I've ever had a losing United Health trade in 2 years, if not longer. Maybe if there was any, there would have been one, maybe one. Quarter after quarter, United Health earnings has a fantastic move. Let me see if this is a different date. It is a different date. I was trading live, made almost $400 on that trade in a nanosecond. Watch, the video happens so fast. It was a nanosecond. Orders on the chart, price explodes. I'm out of the trade already. It was instant. United Health is a family money trade because it offers a great opportunity for profit every quarter that it trades. We don't care if the company has problems. All we care is that when they release their earnings, they release them at a reliable time, and they release them in a manner that moves in a way that we could set up a trade. So they fit the bill. They release their earnings the same time most every quarter. When they release their earnings, if the earnings are a big move, they're going to influence the YM, which is the instrument we sell. So United Health is a big enough and important enough company that it moves the YM, which is the instrument we choose to trade. Then we have the FOMC statement. Now, not everybody likes trading the FOMC statement because it does have a significant amount of risk. Even with all the risk as of late, we have a setup on the FOMC statement that we have vetted the setup for more than 18 months. What do I mean when I say that? We have what we call a spike sheet for the FOMC statement. Now, I have a different spike sheet here, but I want to show you what I mean when I say we create a spike sheet. So for the FOMC statement, we have an ES spike sheet. We look at every trade. We go back as far as we can, and on the FOMC statement, we have more than 18 months of spikes. So what that means is we've looked at every spike when the 2 o'clock hour starts for the FOMC statement. That's when the news is released. That's when there is almost always a spike. We've looked at all the spikes for the FOMC, and they all are very similar. They're in a range, and we've set up a trap trade based around that range of spikes. And it's been a fantastic event to trade. It's a family money trade because we've had no ES stop outs on the FOMC statement in recent history. And the winners are excellent. We tell everybody this is a risky trade. There are some family money trades that definitely have more risk than others, and we're very clear about that. We tell people what the deal is. So, what is a trap trade? This is a trap trade. Our software puts two orders above the orange line, which is the current price, and it puts two orders below. If the market goes up, we sell. If the market goes down, we buy. So we're making our money when the trade reverses, and that's what we study. This particular trade was in May. The price exploded up, and look how fast it reversed. We had a profit in a nanosecond, and it hit our target, took us out of the trade. It was a $600 trade, and that trade lasted about less than a minute. The FOMC has been trading great quarter after quarter after quarter. Our ES trap trade turned out to be a much better setup than our NQ breakout. Now, I have a couple of important questions here. Willie is asking, so Willie asks a great question. He lives in Texas. So he's asking, what time should he put his trades on? So Willie, if everything you do is set to, Texas time, I think you're what, Central, if I remember? Whatever time you're set to, just use your local time. You don't have to convert the time or worry about anything, because if it's 7 o'clock where you are and it's 8 o'clock where we are, and the trade is at 7 o'clock, you're just going to use your local time to put the trade on. So you don't have to worry. Just use your local time. You don't have to convert to Eastern time. Some people do put their platform on Eastern time, and or when they're trading, they put their computer on Eastern time. But that's too confusing because think about it. The exchange is in Chicago. It's not even on Eastern time. It's on Central time. So you could get all screwed up if you mess around with the time. Just trade on your local time. And that's all you have to remember. Trade on your local time. We're always going to tell you when the trade takes place, but you don't have to worry about changing time, etc., etc. Another popular report that we trade is the ADP report. The ADP report is always on a Wednesday, 99.9% of the time. It's a specialized jobs report. Automated Data Processing is the name of the company. It's been a family money trade for years. We've been trading it since 8 years ago when I got here. The ADP report was one of our events. Again, our software puts the orders on the chart. We have a gold setup for it. And we've had breakouts, we've had trap trades, we've had changes to the setup on this event. We went through about a year where we traded it as a trap trade. Now it has gone back to being an excellent breakout and a really nice family money trade. This was June, and you could see it gave us that great opportunity to trail. We got to expand our targets bigger than what the trade originally planned on, and we had a really nice ADP trade. That's what we want from family money trades. And look how far it moved. If you didn't move your stop, you got to test the high. Plenty of members are less conservative than I am, and they take more risk because they're trading their own accounts. I've got to keep in mind that I've got people in the trade room that may not be experts, so I'm a little bit more conservative. Are earnings reports available on investing.com? No. And Joe, to answer that question, we gave a whole lesson on how you find the earnings trades. It's part of the challenge, and it's part of our classes. We have a whole system and a group of tools that we use to help us find the earnings trades. So we know when to test, when to look at them, and we know which companies are releasing when most of the time. The trick about earnings is that we don't always know if the company is reliable without actually testing some of the reports. So we do spend extra time in the trade room during earnings season at times just to watch and test extra reports, maybe companies we think will move the market that we're not yet trading. But we have a system, we have a bunch of tools that we use. We use the Thinkorswim platform to watch stock movement. We use TradingView, the free version. You don't even have to pay when we do our earnings. If you notice, there's some really cool things that TradingView does. One of the things it does that helps us with earnings, if you just type in a symbol of a stock you might be interested in trading, and maybe you don't know a lot about it. Maybe you don't know much about Honeywell, but if you type in the symbol HON, one of the things that TradingView shows us is that it has quite a bit of weight in the NASDAQ. So you might look at the NQ to see if Honeywell moves with the NQ. On another stock, for instance, Home Depot, we're going to get to Home Depot in a minute. Home Depot is more heavily weighted on the NYSE, and we use the YM actually to trade Home Depot. But it's a cool feature of TradingView that it does show you what exchange you might first investigate for a stock trade. And also because TradingView is free, it's awesome. You could just type in, any symbol that you want and it shows you the stock, right? It shows you the price. So we use TradingView free at times just to watch the stock movement when we're trading earnings. We like to know how the stock is doing the moment the earnings are released, because maybe that will affect whether we're going to stay in a trade or not. All right. So to answer that question, we have a system for finding the earnings reports that we're going to trade. I'm just looking at people's questions, folks, so I make sure that I answer all of them. This is a Q&A. Wow. So Willie's telling us that our Bullinox code was even cheaper today for the 50K account. $15.73. Folks, there has never been a cheaper way to get a prop account, I don't think, than that. I'm probably going to get an extra one. Let me give you our link so you have it. Let me just throw it into the chat for you. MMT90 is the code. Give me a second. Willie, thank you for that. MMT90, here is our link. If you use our link, we make a couple of bucks. If you don't use our link, it's perfectly okay. MMT90 is the code. Make sure you type that code in, okay? And make sure before you pay that you see the reduction in price, because they don't give any refunds or anything like that, okay? So please make sure that you know that, all right? And then MMT90 is our code. But that is very reasonable for a monthly prop if you don't pass, right? The idea is the monthly price is the price you pay if you have not passed into a funded situation. Ideally, you don't want to pay that monthly fee very often, okay? But it's certainly great to have it inexpensive in case you screw up. The grain report is another family money trade, the quarterly grain report. Obviously, that means quarterly. We have had, going back in time, we've had grain reports that have made us $2,000. We've had grain reports that have made us $400, but I wanted to show you this one because this one was a mega $1,000 grain report. It was phenomenal. Look at the move that it had. It was spectacular. What's interesting is that move was before the report was released. Then our orders were on the chart. We were trading soybeans that day. Price exploded up, hit our target, pulled down our second target, made money also on that report, even though it had a gigantic move before the report. That was a $345 winner on grain. Let me see if I can show you that couple of $1,000 winner because it was fun. This was a gigantic explosion on the grain report. Soybeans on the right. We were trading corn. That was a $1,000 profit on that grain report in about 3 seconds. 3 seconds. And we had one that I thought I had the video, but I don't. Let's try one more. I thought we did have a $2,000 grain report winner. Let me see if this was it or not. It's always fun to show. Obviously, making 2,000 is no guarantee you're going to make 2,000 in the future, but we still trade the quarterly grain report today. Every quarter, it's moving very nicely again. It's gone through periods. Yeah, that was $2,037. That was in September of 2021. It hasn't been moving that big over the years, but it started moving bigger again over the past, I'd say, 9 months. So the quarterly grain report, it's still a family money trade because it does move very nicely when we trade it. Quarterly grain report, another family money trade. Let's see what else we got. Home Depot earnings, one of our favorite earnings trades. Let me show you May. Now, full transparency. A recent quarter, we had a terrible Home Depot trade, but we've been trading Home Depot earnings for years. We've hardly ever had trades that haven't worked. Every now and then, even family money trades are going to stop you out. It's the nature of news trading. Sometimes you're going to get a bad trade. It just happens. We started trading Home Depot, I don't know, 2022 maybe earlier. This trade kind of slow moving, but it hit our first target. Then it had a nice burst and it pulled down easy $250, 2 contracts, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's always a lot of fun. And then our most recent Home Depot, 2 weeks ago, not even. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, the 18th of August. Every single person, I think except one, made money on this report. I think the one person didn't get filled. We send our members a little DMM, a mini DMM before the report, and it exploded to the downside, over 400 for us in a nanosecond. And like I said, anyone who traded it and followed our setup that day was a winning setup, was a great, great breakout trade. Home Depot, is it a breakout or a range? Let's see. Think we started trading it as a range. Nowadays, we're trading it as a breakout. And we've gone through why we use ranges, why we use breakouts. We've had significant amount of education in the challenge and in our trade room, why we choose different setups. Amazon earnings, another family money trade. Why? Why is it a family money trade? As a reminder, what's so darn good about Amazon that makes it a family money trade? Number one, they release their earnings the same time almost every month. So we know when to expect their earnings. They're reliable earnings release. Number two, we know the instrument to trade. What is Amazon going to move most probably if they release their earnings and it's a big report? In other words, their earnings are fantastic or they're horrible and they really move the markets. They're going to move the NQ like crazy because Amazon's heavily weighted in the NQ, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to move the NQ like crazy. Here's a fairly recent Amazon trade. We studied to learn when Amazon releases their earnings, and we set up our trades around that. That was just under $400 in a nanosecond. Okay, some earnings trades happen in a nanosecond. The orders go on the chart, and then the earnings come out, and the trade's over. That's how they work. Here's our orders on the chart. Software puts them on. Trade's over. It was 1 second, not even. Almost 400 on that one. More importantly, our members are making money. When we're trading the reports, our members are making money with us. One of our members made 920 in his pop account on an Amazon earnings report, 2025. Okay, this is not 100 years ago. Another member, and I know whose chart this is. This is Langford's chart. $1,000 recent Amazon. Okay, not that long ago. It was the December 2024, I believe. So it would have been November. Was the December chart. He made over $1,000 on Amazon earnings. Fantastic trade. One more. He traded it in more than one account, but this was the most recent, one of the most recent Amazons, because you could see the date of the instrument being traded. It was NQ 925. That's the current NQ symbol. Oh, let's see, $2,000 profit on Amazon. $2,000. No joke. All right, that's what his trade was. Here is a February trade, 2025 on Amazon. Real live trade, different than the one I just showed you. Nope, that was the one I just showed you. Sorry. That was roughly 400. Here was the most recent Amazon trade. Amazon is a family money trade because it follows our set of rules. We know when the earnings are being released. That allows us to create a safe setup. The news comes out, the price explodes up. That was over $1,000 in our trade. We were in the market for about 2 seconds. Amazon is a family money trade. Apple earnings. We went through a period where Apple earnings was not a family money trade. Why? Because we got stopped out twice in a row. So I took it off. But we still trade it because sometimes an event does something that we say, I believe it'll return to the mean, right? Apple's been a very good report to trade. Apple has the most interesting history, though, of all the trades, all the reports that we traded. Here's why. And I love this. I love this history of trading, and I love how the markets change and give you more opportunity at time. Sometimes they change and take away opportunity. We always struggled to trade Apple earnings because if you remember, years ago, 3 years ago or so, the markets used to close. The futures used to close at 5:15 and they would open at 5:30. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Apple releases Apple releases their earnings. I take that back. They closed at 4:15 to 4:30 Eastern Time, not 5, 4:15 to 4:30. Apple releases their earnings at 4:30 most every time they release their earnings, and they're very reliable about the time. 4:30 rolls along, Apple's earnings get released. Well, the market was closed 4:15 to 4:30. So what happens is anytime a market is closed, even if it's just closed for a couple of minutes, when it reopens, there could be a gap. Because behind the scenes, the prices are still changing. There's values to a stock that just because our market is closed, that stock might have news. There might be things that are affecting the price. When the market opens after being closed, the price will gap. It was impossible to put the earnings on the chart fast enough and deal with the gap. So we could we could hardly ever get a good Apple trade for earnings because the gap would get in our way all the time. Then for whatever reason, the market stopped closing from 4:15 to 4:30. If anybody knows the reason, I would love to know because I never knew that. And if somebody knows why, tell me. I'm very interested in learning why. But anyway, since that time, and it is years ago, Apple became more reliable to trade. So here's what a good Apple trade looks like. Apple right now has been trading great. It's a family money trade. And we've had a quarter where, we couldn't get out fast enough, but we lost $80. Sometimes you have a trade that you just don't make money on, but you don't lose a lot also. That happens. But you see what happens here. Apple earnings, they come out at 4:30. We put our orders on the chart just a couple of seconds before 4:30. Here comes the news. It shoots down. That was a very nice $800 profitable Apple trade. Very, very nice profitable. And a fast reversal there too. Then we had another Apple. Do I have another Apple video? Or that might have been the only Apple video I have for today because I knew we're taking up a lot of time here. Apple is an excellent family money trade. We have more, but we teach you how to set up and trade these reports. There's no better time than now, the fall season, to get going so you can take back your life, stop sitting at your charts every hour on the hour, and start trading with us by trading on a schedule. So this is really important, everyone. Over the years, we have changed. We've updated our software and added many different types of setups. We now trade before, during, and after the news. We have discretionary, automated, and semi-automated setups. We've created more opportunity for profit than ever before. We always over-deliver, and we will guide you step by step in our live trading room every day. Wouldn't you love to join us for all of these trade rooms and learn how to do this? Earnings and magnet workshops. You never traded before or you never traded the news, we've got you covered. We have a News Trader Quick Start. I've got more than one News Trader Quick Start video. We show you how to set up your account, how to set up the software, how to choose the broker if you need to. It's NinjaTrader. They're the only broker, or you use a prop account these days. We show you how to place the trades, how to use the software, how to back test. We've done all of that in the challenge. It's all in our News Trader Quick Start also, and it's in challenge videos that we will give you. Of course, if you become a member, you're welcome to even our old challenge videos. If you want to watch some of our, we had a 21-day challenge where we did everything in such fine detail. It was crazy. I don't know how we did it. I had gotten hit by a car on my motorcycle 3 days before that challenge started. I don't know how we did that challenge. Somehow we had a 21-day challenge. I think it was like 3 Thanksgivings ago, and it was a great challenge. I think I was in a state of shock, honestly, when I gave that challenge, but it was great. We have those videos, 21 days. We have last week's, this week's videos. It's great learning. We include those videos if you become a member and you want them. We're happy to share them. Fast-moving news trades are safer than most other futures trades when you trade with us because we train you how to do them. We have good software to take these trades, and we have rules, pre-programmed entries, exits, targets, and stops. We want you to start the fall off with a smash, with a bang, and we have a great deal, folks. For a very limited time, this offer is going to expire Monday evening. You're going to get all the big things that we have: full-blown pro membership, Magnet Masterclass video, News Trader Quick Start video, 6 months of DMM trade alerts, 6 months of the Pro Trade Room, 6 months of our software license that's valued at over $9,000. It includes our daily market mover reports. I've showed you those reports. Some days the daily market mover has multiple setups on it. So for instance, today we had a whole bunch of daily market movers because there was a whole bunch of trade rooms and a whole bunch of different reports. This was the report we recommended that everybody trade this morning. PCE price, okay? Watch what happened on this trade this morning, and we recommended taking this trade with the RTY. We also had a gold trap trade. I told members it was pretty risky. I traded it. It did make money, but the RTY breakout was the one we said, if you want to trade during a holiday week, this is the setup to take. RTY in the middle on the PCE price index this morning. Watch what happens. It fills long, chops a little bit, moves up. It's going to hit our first target, Our stop moved to safety. I tried expanding that second target, and it hit the target as I was expanding it. I think that every single member in our trade room that traded the RTY made money. It was a very profitable trade. And then our gold trade on the trap trade also worked. It was tough. It took its time reversing, but we showed people methods to use to reduce their risk if they want to get out early. There was an opportunity. It did eventually reverse. Bingo, we made 200 on that trade. And that was a tough one, and we really didn't recommend that one for today. But the RTY, we did. The point is, in our membership, we're including the daily market trade reports. Of course, you're getting a trade room subscription for 6 months. Everything takes place in the trade room. All software strategies are included. NewsTrader software suite, which has reversal continuations, range trades for earnings, range trades if you want to set up discretionary range trades, and of course the trap trade and the magnet strategy system. We had a whole lesson on the magnet strategy in yesterday's challenge class. That's available on the recording. Our 6-month offer for the holiday, $497 for 6 months, www.10mtlive.com, 10mtlive.com. Folks, one trade you could make $497 easily, 2 trades, and you could pay for 6 months of the service. Expires Monday for real. This is expiring. I will guide you step by step in the trade rooms how to set up the trades. Reminder, you get the master trade magnet trade video, NewsTrader quick start video, 6 months of the daily reports, 6 months of the live trade room, 6 months of the software license, 10mtlive.com, $497. It's a fantastic offer. It's a complete system designed to help you get to the next level of your trading. You'll have this ability for the rest of your life if you join with us. This is something you can do forever. It's everything you need to trade the news successfully while reducing your work week to just a few hours a week. www.10mtlive.com. Here's a bunch of questions that I want to just ask, and we'll be finishing up. Type in your questions for me so I can answer them when we're done. How do you know what instrument to trade? So that's something we study. We look at all the events and we go over it and we study them, and that's how we decide what instruments. Sometimes you tell us instruments we aren't trading at that moment in time. And sometimes members say, hey, you know what? I tried the yen on this trade, and I've been trying the yen for a couple of months. Check it out. It's interesting. We'll test it. We share. You have to share when you trade. There's so much information out there. Everybody shares. Everybody helps. If you have a question, you can email us, help@10minutetrades.com, but you can easily join us. It's a steal. Honestly, $497 a month is ridiculous. What platforms do we support? We support NinjaTrader, okay? That's the key. Supporting NinjaTrader. How many times do we trade a day? Sometimes 3 to 5. So folks, let me just grab my right slides. Bear with me 1 second. So thank you, everybody. I just want to remind everybody, I want to put up, I don't know if I can do it. No, you know what? I can't do it. If there's any issues signing up, just join, just send us an email, help@10minutetrades.com. What's the price for being a member after the 6 months? So Antonio, first off, there's a special deal. If you sign up for 6 months, there's a box you can check. For an additional $297, you can sign up for a whole year. So there is a special deal. For $497 plus $297, you get a whole year. But let's say you don't want to do that. You just want to do $497. 5 months down the road, you love everything you've learned about 10-minute trades and you want to stay a member. We have our full-blown membership is $97 a month. Very, very reasonably priced. And we generally have a couple of sales a year also. but for $97 a month, you can join with us. And we do often have 3 months for a special price. So we'll work with you, Antonio. We want to keep our members happy. You can't beat 497. It is a steal. In my opinion, it's a phenomenal deal. I can't imagine why someone wouldn't want it. Just a couple of months in the room alone, you're going to learn in knowledge. You're going to get so much more than $497 worth of value. All right, everyone, have a fantastic holiday. Check your email. We're going to announce the 2 winners. If we don't do it today, it'll be by tomorrow. And I want to thank everybody for watching and joining in these challenges and in the classes. So thanks, everyone, and I'll see you all in the trade room next week. Take care, everyone. See you soon.